Ford 4-liter SOHC single overhead cam V6 engine, upper oil pan gasket replacement. The vehicle has been removed for clarity, and also the only thing I've done so far is just take the lower oil pan off. It was fastened on with 10mm bolts all the way around, and it does have its own separate gasket, as you can see. Without further delay, the first thing you want to do here is take this 8mm bolt off. And you kind of pull up on this, rotate, and it comes up. That's your pickup. Make sure your two O-rings are in good condition for it. You may even consider cleaning this out, maybe with some brake parts cleaner. If yours is plugged up with debris, you may want to reconsider just doing the pan gasket because you might have a cassette failure for your timing chain. One last thing I want to point out before we get going here. This is not a straight edge. However, check out what I've got going on here. When you put your upper oil pan back on, you do want to make it flush with the block. Now, once again, this is not a straight edge. However, since my upper oil pan gasket wasn't leaking, I'm just going to see how accurate this is, because since it's not leaking, it's probably flush. So what you're going to want to do here on this side, come up on the block right there, follow it down, contact the other end with the block, and if you see the upper oil pan right there, it's right about flush. It's a little bit of a gap, but overall it's very close to being flush with the block. Now let me show you this side. Further over there a little bit there, and there you go. You see how it's almost flush? I'd say this is going to be good enough to use as a straight edge. All right, next we do have a series of 13mm bolts. These two on the outside of the lower oil pan do have washers on them. Your new gasket set should come with some washers. Take these off. I am going to kind of work from the outside in. I do need an extension on this one. All right, so again, there's a washer in here somewhere that you need to fish out. Pop off the top here. That's what it looks like there. Next, underneath where all those bolts are, you do have a Allen head, kind of nut plate in there. I don't have an Allen wrench big enough, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a bolt. All right, here's what I've got going on here to break loose these nuts in here. I have a 7/16 head bolt right here. Got a pair of vice grips on it to break them loose with. Kind of go like that. And then once they're loose, I'm just going to chuck this bolt up in a drill, and then I can zip them out with a drill like that. Okay. I don't think they have to come all the way out. I'm just going to back them out so they're not touching. The reason that you want to loosen these is because when you go back together with it, if they're all the way down, if they're still run all the way down in there, it could, if it bottoms out on a part inside the engine, it could crack the whole upper oil pan. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I just ran them out a little bit, and actually what happens is it bottoms out on the top in here, if you can see that. Done that to all those there. So the next thing I'm going to do here is 10mm nut, 10mm nut, and then 10mm bolts all the way around. And a Torx 30 screw, and another Torx 30 screw right here. I'm not going to show every single thing. I do have everything removed that is 10mm all the way around, just down to the Torx 30s. Let me show you a trick on those. I've got a short Torx 30 socket, I've got a long extension and a 1/4 inch ratchet. I'm going to go in at an angle on this Torx 30, let it pop into place, break it loose, and back it out all the way from there. Now this one's higher up here. So what I'm going to do with that short Torx 30, go in at an angle, kind of break it loose, get it as straight as you can, push down so it doesn't strip out, push down, break it loose. Ideally, you have a long reach, narrow Torx 30 that'll fit through there. There they are. So in theory now, there we go, lift straight up, and there she is. This is the part that we did not see before. This is the sealing surface where it seals up against the block. What you want to do here is a brake cleaner and a rag is clean this up to where it looks sparkling clean. Clean enough that you can eat a hot dog off of it. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do here is take this gasket up. Now do take note, in the rear, by the rear main seal, there's two little slits in the gasket, two little kind of notches that protrude out that go into a hole. You'll see in a minute, but don't just go ripping this thing up. I mean, you don't want to rip them off and leave the little tangs down in the metal. If you're going to do a little bit of pry up where the studs are right here for those 10mm nuts on either side. And then pry up carefully right about here. Actually, yeah, right about here where those little tangs are going to be. All right, boys, this part of the gasket did break off of here, so I'm going to come in here and just pull this off. I'm going to put a little flathead and pry out. And here it is. So right here and here and right here and right here and at the base circle of right here, you're going to want to clean up this RTV. Here's where those tang thing goes I was talking about. All right, you see that? Right down in there and right down in there on that side. And what I'm doing here is with a pick, I'm just taking my time, going in here, like at an angle over here, and then pulling up like that, pulling the chunks out. Basically, you want to get this rear notch down in there enough where it's flush. Let me show you. See that notch right there? Goes down in there flush, just about. So I need to do a little more cleaning on that side. And this side gets flush. All right, I do recommend finishing off with a straight pick. It really helps getting down in there. And I do have it cleaned out perfectly down where I see metal on each cavity in the bottom there. That's the most tedious part of the job right there, doing that. But without further delay, let's lay the silicone and get this gasket on here. Time to lay the engine RTV. I've got some engine RTV here. It's not a sponsor, but it's Permatex. So I'm going to lay a nice bead here, right where the on both sides where the timing cover meets the block. So let's go ahead and do that now. And there, let's do the other side. There we go. A little more right there. And base of the circle here. Base of the other circle here. Base of the circle on the back here. Don't get it into the cavity you just cleaned out. Oh my goodness. There we go. Try not to let the tang push it down in there too. There we go. Once you lay the RTV, you've got 4 minutes to work. You need to get the pan on and get torqued. All right, I've got all the pan bolts torqued down, the upper oil pan there. And before I torqued the first bolt, I went ahead and got my straight edge here. This is not really a straight edge, but you want to use this right here and this on this other side here. Put up against here, butt it up against the block. And as you can see, the upper oil pan is within 1 millimeter of the straight edge there. And you want to verify it again on the other side here. There's the gap on that one there. All right, so now I'm going to take those nut plates that we backed off on all these and run them down with my drill here, my 7/16 socket. Slowly. No, this is not a drag race. There you go. They only go to 26 inch-pounds, so it's barely more than flush, honestly. See the drill kicking back? Repeat that on all those. There is a 2-step torque sequence to these, and you also want to work to the inside out, starting here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to go to 11 foot-pounds, and then, I keep having to go back inside and check. It's 11, and then 25 foot-pounds. Don't forget those 2 new washers on there, and those 2 seals in the bag. If you got the Felpro kit, I believe that's where they go there on that pickup. Let's run these down flush first. Okay. I already forgot the torque spec again, but 3/8 extension and a 13 millimeter socket. And a torque wrench. Right here. There you are, you torque wrench. Work to the inside out. 1, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, and then repeat again at the final torque. Guys, have yourself a great day. After that, you are done. You are done, sir. You guys have a great day.